The boundaries of the cockpit country protected areas are now defined and no mining will be permitted in the zone.
The government is of the view that this area is too valuable in terms of its ecological and hydrological importance and uniqueness to allow mining, which may result in permanent and irreversible harm and deprive future generations of the benefits of this national asset.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Our program starts with a word of advice, followed by the news. Stay with us.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh and this is your JIS News for Monday, November 27. A violence interruption and prevention campaign has been launched to combat destructive thoughts, words, and actions among the nation's youth. Called Acts of Random Kindness, ARC, it's an initiative of the Jamaica Constabulary Force in partnership with the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. ARC is an extension of the Youth Empowerment and Mentorship Program and operates under the theme Think Kind, Act Kind, Be Kind. The campaign is spearheaded by Deputy Commissioner of Police, Novlet Grant.
The campaign is a call to action to change the narrative and begin to empower children to reach their full potential.
355 land titles are expected to be issued by year-end to persons who were relocated after their properties were acquired by bauxite and alumina companies for mining purposes. Mining Minister Mike Henry says that with the year near closing, the target has almost been achieved.
Between March 2016 and October 2017, the Land Titling Division has helped approximately 340 persons obtain land titles for parcels of land, which they were settled by the bauxite mining companies.
Assistance is being given by the Bauxite Lands Land Titling Committee, which was established in the Mining Ministry to work with companies to clear the backlog of land titles.
The timely provision of land titles to these persons is of paramount importance, so that they can formally unlock the value of these lands and help them, their families and dependents, break the cycle of poverty, facilitate entrepreneurship, and funnel small-scale investments into the economy.
The Housing Agency of Jamaica, HAJ, is looking to expand its services to meet the needs of persons living in informal settlements. HAJ's Project Development Analyst Nakia McMorris points out that the agency has been providing infrastructural development and has assisted over 8,000 households with land titles in the past 10 years. But she says other social needs must be addressed to sustain the development made within informal settlements.
So that could mean connecting them to services at the Child Development Agency or connecting them to get birth certificates is a big issue. There are families that have mental health, substance abuse issues. How do you connect them to those services to assist them in moving ahead, not just providing the housing?
Ms. McMorris was speaking at a JIS think tank on Friday. Oversight responsibility for the special economic zones is being formally changed to the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. During last Tuesday's sitting, Parliament approved amendments to the Special Economic Zones Act 2016 to facilitate the change in responsibility from the Ministry of Industry. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who piloted the bill, says the amendment is the most recent step to provide a clear and integrated framework for the Special Economic Zones regime.
The regulatory structure is in place with the establishment of the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority. Regulations for the special economic zones were recently produced to set out procedures under the Special Economic Zones Act. The enabling environment has been created to support the operations and growth of the economic zones regime.
And finally, 57 young people in state care have been awarded for their academic achievements in external examinations. The youngsters were presented with trophies, tablets, plaques, and laptops in a ceremony organized by the newly formed Child Protection and Family Services Agency. They qualified for the awards after obtaining 4 or more subjects in the recent sittings of CSEC and CAPE. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid saluted the students and teachers for their hard work, while also giving praise to the foster parents for the love and attention they give the youngsters. Senator Reid, meanwhile, indicated that his ministry was in a better position to assist the Children's Services Program at all levels.
If our children find themselves in vulnerable circumstances, we have no doubt that we as a state are stepping and make sure that none of our children are going to face any undue difficulty.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
It's important to store water during periods of drought. It's even more important to ensure that the water is safe. Boiling and treating your water with bleach are 2 of the best ways to purify water. If you choose the boiling method, allow the water to boil for 5 minutes, cover, and let it cool. Store boiled water in a clean, airtight container and use something with a handle to take out the water when needed. If you use bleach to make your water safe for drinking, use 2 drops of bleach to a liter of water, 8 drops for a gallon, and ½ teaspoon of bleach for 5 gallons of water. Shake well and leave for half an hour before use. Water is essential to a healthy life, so ensure yours is clean and safe for consumption.
Prime Minister donates $1,500 of his personal funds to the Caribbean hurricane relief effort, responds quickly to flash floods in Montego Bay, and disburses $630 million to fix roads damaged by recent rains. These and other news in today's installment of Jamaica House Weekly.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Prime Minister Andrew Holness last Tuesday declared 74,726 hectares of land spanning several parishes as the Cockpit Country Protected Area. The boundaries were defined after consultations with stakeholders and cabinet deliberations. The Prime Minister also declared that no mining would be allowed in the Cockpit Country, advising that existing laws and mining licenses would be updated to reflect the change.
While we forego the extraction of millions of tons of high-grade bauxite and limestone with potential earnings of billions of United States dollars, we cannot put a price tag on the loss to our water resources and our biodiversity.
To ensure even greater protection of the Cockpit Country, the Culture Ministry will seek to have the area designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. A comprehensive management plan of the cockpit is also to be developed with stakeholders.
The Minister of Local Government has given an emergency allocation, and I will be speaking with the Minister of Social Security to ensure that persons who have been affected, who have lost property, especially homeowners, that there is some assistance provided.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness reassuring Montegonians after the second city received 3.5 inches of rain in 4.5 hours last Wednesday, causing significant flooding and damage to public and private infrastructure. Following Thursday's tour of affected areas, $20 million in emergency relief was disbursed by the Ministry of Local Government. In Parliament last Tuesday, Mr. Holness announced that all 63 constituencies across the island would each receive $10 million to carry out immediate road repairs. Of that figure, $4 million will go towards pothole patching, $4 million to bushing and drain cleaning, and $2 million for general cleanup of waste. To ensure value for money, the Prime Minister says the Office of the Contractor General OCG has been called in to oversee the awarding of contracts. The OCG will also assist in the inspection of works before funds are released.
We expect every dollar to be spent according to the policy that we have just announced here today. It is also incumbent on every member of Parliament to ensure that the resources are spent wisely and that the work is done.
On Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness pledged $1,500 of his personal funds to hurricane relief efforts in the Caribbean. Mr. Holness made the pledge at the Caribbean Love Now Hurricane Relief Benefit Concert at the Stadium Complex. In the past few months, the region has been devastated by 3 major hurricanes. At home, the National Identification and Registration Act 2017 has been passed in both houses of Parliament. This now makes it possible for the implementation of the National Identification System (NIDS). The bill's passage will also lead to the transformation of the Registrar General's Department into the National Identification and Registration Authority. In Parliament Tuesday, Mr. Holness said the various amendments made to the bill were reflective of government listening to the concerns raised by citizens. Among them, the removal of a prison sentence for persons who do not have an ID card and the suspension of the ID system in cases of emergency.
We cannot continue to look at the Jamaican state as the enemy of the people. I am not the enemy of the people. And it is time that we reject that idea.
And the NIDSFacts.com website has been launched to give factual information about the implementation of the program. Prime Minister Holness also told Parliament that his administration was actively pursuing the passage of the Data Protection Act to strengthen the NIDS bill and quell the privacy concerns of citizens.
Privacy is not anonymity. And in today's state, more than ever, you need a strong, honest state with integrity to defend the privacy of the people.
In Tuesday's parliamentary sitting, Prime Minister Holness piloted an amendment to the Special Economic Zones Act 2016, which was subsequently passed by the House. The amendment formally assigns oversight responsibility for the SEZ to the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, where it previously resided with the Ministry of Industry. By Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was in Highgate, St. Mary, handing over units at the National Housing Trust's latest development. 42 bedroom detached units were dispersed to the new residents of the Nashville housing scheme. Worth $8.79 to $10.8 million each, the houses were built under the NHT's Labor and Small Materials program.
This program, it's good because it brings in the small contractor, it brings in the labor force within a certain locale, but from a national strategic level, it gives our young people an opportunity to develop the necessary skills.
Back at Jamaica House Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness extended a warm welcome to incoming Canadian High Commissioner Laurie Peters. Her Excellency Peters presented her credentials to Mr. Holness, who noted that Canada had been a faithful partner to Jamaica in security, trade, and other areas. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
It's the last Monday in November, and we want to remind you of two observations that aim to improve the lives of our citizens. In support of science and technology and the Eat Jamaican campaign, we highlight an innovation that is revolutionizing both the agriculture and science sectors. Take a look.
Artificial insemination, a term that's usually linked with women trying to get pregnant. But this technology has been extended to animals, and in the dairy industry, it's big business. Here in Jamaica, cattle are artificially inseminated. Why? To breed the best cows that will produce the best milk. Superior animals that give farmers a better chance of improving their bottom line. The Ministry of Agriculture's Research and Development Division, the Bodles Research Station, has been applying artificial insemination, or AI, to help improve reproduction and the genetics of farm animals.
We here at Bodles, we will choose both a female based on the bloodline or the type, the genotype, and we'll inseminate them based on which bull we want and which genetic mix we think would give us advantage in producing milk.
The process begins with a manual collection of sperm. It's then taken to the lab where they test for signs of abnormality and determine whether the sperm can make the journey to the egg.
This is what pretty much we're looking for. Sperm cells that have the right anatomical properties in terms of the shape of the head, no abnormalities, no double head.
The benefits of artificial insemination are many. For the dairy industry, it means selected bulls will produce more offspring, thus increasing the selection intensity. Artificial insemination reduces the transfer of venereal diseases, as the collection process allows you to screen and detect them early. During natural breeding, a male will deposit more semen than is theoretically needed. With AI, scientists dilute semen and extend the collected sample to create hundreds of doses from a single ejaculate.
A sample like this is at a grade of about 85%, and that will determine how far we extend the sample. We make the extender to extend the sample. So we move from maybe 5 ml of semen to a total volume of 120 ml of semen, depending on the concentration. So moving from 5 ml of semen, which would pregnate one animal, to 240 straw, which has the potential to breed 240 animals.
Once this process is completed, the straws containing semen are then sealed and properly labeled with the bull's brand number and year. They are then stored in a cold room and frozen by the fumes of liquid nitrogen at a temperature of -80 degrees centigrade. The frozen sample is then placed in liquid nitrogen where it remains viable. Later, when the sperm has been given clearance, it's time for insemination. And after a few months, a sterile set of calves, superior animals that will produce milk of the highest quality. These calves will not be allowed to take milk from their mother or mate naturally as they get older. Some will be transferred to farms to be integrated into the farm population, but for those left behind, the cycle continues. Artificial insemination, agriculture and technology working together to produce a better breed of cattle, more nutritious milk, and better financial returns for farmers.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business. prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is serious about setting a firm foundation upon which our future leaders can thrive. Get the details on how the ministry intends to accomplish this with the introduction of the Primary Exit Profile Examination.
Since 1999, the Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT has been the standard examination for primary school students to matriculate to secondary school. But after years of analyzing the challenges associated with GSAT, the government has formulated a new high school placement test for the nation's children. The Primary Exit Profile, or PEP, is aimed at providing a profile of where a student is academically by testing the entrance strengths, weaknesses, and readiness for grade 7.
PEP will assess students' knowledge in addition to placing increased emphasis on assessing students' skill of communication, critical thinking, and creativity.
The academic profile will be generated from grade 1 and will be aligned to the National Standards curriculum.
But the advantages of PEP include more accurate evidence-based information in terms of students' performance will be available. Students' completion of the curriculum and their progress will be monitored more regularly. More opportunities will be provided for teachers to identify students' strengths and weaknesses and therefore plan lessons to meet the specific needs of each student.
Unlike GSAT, which has 5 areas, PEP focuses on 3 key components: performance task, an ability test, and a curriculum-based test. Similar to school-based assessments, the performance task consists of real-world scenarios
that will require students to apply their knowledge and skills from the following subject areas: mathematics, science, language arts, and social studies.
Performance tasks will be administered in grades 4, 5, and 6 by the student's classroom teacher. The ability test will be sat in grade 6 and requires students to read analytically and use quantitative reading skills to respond to questions.
Ability tests generally assess students' aptitude in areas of numeracy, verbal and nonverbal ability, and abstract thinking ability. This will assess grade 6 content only, and in the areas of mathematics, science, social studies, and language arts. This test will consist of multiple choice items along with other structured and essay-type questions.
The ability test under PEP will represent 30% of the final score, while the curriculum-based and performance tests will together account for 70% of the profile grade.
PEP will therefore be implemented on a phased basis. Students who are currently in grade 5 will be the first PEP cohort. They will, however, do only the grade 6 components in 2019.
The curriculum-based test will be administered in April 2019. Students currently in grade 4 will do their grade 5 performance task in 2019 and the ability and curriculum-based tests in 2020.
Students who are currently, however, in grade 3 will be the first cohort that will do the performance task from grade 4 up to grade 6. So therefore, those students who are currently in grade 3 will do their grade 4 performance task in 2019, grade 5 performance task in 2020, and of course, they will do the grade 6 components, including the abilities test and the grade 6 performance task component in 2021.
Introducing students to critical thinking, creativity and communication from an early age through PEP is evidence of the government's commitment to providing students who are better equipped for the workforce.
The end game is that everyone, which is the aspiration, will graduate with the equivalent of an associate degree by the end of grade 13.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions, just the two of you. Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher, follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
Our children are our future. They should be loved and protected, not abused, whether verbal, physical, emotional, psychological, or otherwise. When we abuse our children, we are negatively impacting the future of this great nation. Children live what they learn. When you use corporal punishment to correct a child's behavior, that child will grow up believing that corporal punishment is a means to resolve challenges. When we speak ill of our children, they internalize those words and can come to believe that they are incapable of greatness. That's not the Jamaica we want for our children. That's not how we will be able to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. So, the next time our children act in a manner that's not consistent with our beliefs, instead of reacting in anger or disappointment, we should all try speaking with our children and finding alternative methods of correcting the wrong. For more ideas, contact the National Parenting Support Commission at 967-7977. And that's how we close out today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. We'll be back tomorrow round about this same time right here on this station. While you wait for that new program, catch up on this and other offerings at jis.gov.jm. You may also visit our YouTube channel and social media accounts for all the positive happenings in Jamaica, land we love. On behalf of the entire team at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.